I'd like to say a prayer, and I'll sing a woman's song, woman gathering song. And that's what our grandmas would sing that when they wanted berries, or they wanted to go out and be out in berries by the water. They would sing this song. How does that bear song go? Way ya ya ho, ya way oh hey, way ya ya ho, way ya ya oh ya way oh hey, ya way oh hey, ya way oh hey, ya way oh hey. Way ya ya ho, way ya ya ho ya, way yo hey, ya way yo hey, ya way yo hey, ya way yo hey, ya way yo hey. Oh, Midako Yasin. Thank you. As a star people, a lot of people know us as what is called a Sioux, but we call ourselves Lakota, Dakota, or Nakota. That's our dialect, okay, of the language we speak. And it also defines our territory, the dialect here. And so with that, a lot of people say we're Buffalo people, we're Tatanka people, which that's true, we are. We evolved to that. But originally, from our origins, we are known as the Wichachbi people, the people from the stars. See, Wichachbi is star. Wichachbi is the hope of all creation. That's what that represents, Wichachbi. And so with that, that's where we came from. We came from her. So our origins is that these knowledge is given to certain families. The knowledge that was given to my family was that we are a descendant of a Pleiadian sister, and we're related, and we keep the kinship laws of governance within our people, within our family, but also within our individual self, because we are a collective, but we are also individuals, which is highly protected by the collective, you see, as the star clusters are. So we emulate the philosophy of what is above is below. What is below is above, you see. So what occurs to us here affects the ones up above. You see, that's our philosophy, that's our teaching. So we hold that teaching very sacred. And we have symbologies that reflect that. And only certain ones can interpret those symbologies of the star people. See? And it's very, very important that our people now know, because now is the time of the prophecies of the 7th generation. So when we were told that this comes out now, that the stories, the 7th fire will be lit, the fire of knowledge, of knowing who you are, of knowing where you come from, of knowing what you speak, how you conduct yourself, and knowing your area, knowing your kinship, those laws, that way to conduct yourself. That's all from that origin, see? And so we have to be related to keep those laws in its true form. And so one of those things is that we are good to Mother Earth. She is our mother. She provides our food. She provides the goodness she gives to us. We are, as women, we are 70 some percent of water. We are related to the water because we are life givers. You see, the men the same way, all two-legged. We are water carriers in our bodies. So therefore we are related to this water as it is sacred, like we are. You see, we are related to this wind that we feel today. It's a blessing. It's blessing us. We're related to this sky, the clouds, because it speaks to us. Because if we need the heat, it separates. If we need the coolness, it comes. If we need the rain, it comes. You see? But this is the things that, this is why we are related to all things. Mitakoye oyasi. We are all related because we have to take care of these things. We have to make sure that when we take care of these things, we know what we're doing. See? So these knowledge comes down, is passed down from family to family. And each one, where one begins and one ends, another one begins and another one ends. See? And that's how it evolves. It keeps going. Nothing ends totally, you see, especially with star knowledge. So from that, we became star people. And then from there, when we came to two-legged, we became the buffalo people. Because the buffalo provided everything for us, see? And so it sustained us. It helped us to live, to thrive and live, you see. And then we became that, many you probably hear of the Wichasha Nawiya, which means the man and the woman. Because then knowledge is brought forth of how to be in a setting that is more open instead of privately over here now, see? So there's a way of conducting yourself from the star people of how to be in a family, in a private setting and in a public setting, in a spiritual way and in a ikja or common way, see? The origins. So that's where all these laws come from. Mother Nature, above, the sky people, the relatives, the ancestors. This land, we are related to what we call the giants. The giants are our relatives. We are descendants, but because of the environment that changed, we became smaller. See, the pipestone that we have in Minnesota is the blood of our ancestors, because they are the giants. And they died for us, to protect us, see? So we could continue to be living on top of the earth. And so those are the stories, and those are stories that are kept by certain families also. And so now we come to this prophecy time, prophetic time now, where now those families, we lit the seventh fire now. That is the door opener for the knowledge to be released. And so what has happened now is that families are researching and looking now. Well, now I know why Grandma said this. Now I know why Grandpa said this. Now I know why aunties and uncles said it a certain way. Because that's knowledge. That's a way, the way it's said and done is a way of conduct. To be respectful of all things that you're related to. You don't just come and walk in. You come in gently, you greet. You greet the day. You greet the night. You be good and say those things. You greet that water that sustains you. You greet that food that sustains you. So that way it continues to come and continues to sustain you. And that's what we believe. So we are always talking about being a good relative. And that's what that means to all things, you know.
And how is that different from a culture that does not have this ceremony? What are the impacts of a culture that does not acknowledge in this way? And how do those cultures intersect with this wisdom?
Well, first of all, I would say that the cultures that don't do that, they are very disrespectful. They are I guess the good way to say it is they end their own selves. because they don't know how to sustain it. They don't know, give credit to this little plant here that may be a water holder. They'll come and just cut it down, you see, and not respecting it. Many medicines are out here today looking at it. They don't know that. They don't want to know that. These medicines sustain this earth. It rejuvenates the soil. It cleans that water out there when it's dirty. When something comes into it, these things help. They help us. But when a culture or a group come in and destroy it, they hurt not only themselves, but there's a ripple effect to all of us. You see, we can live hundreds and hundreds of miles, but because we are related to this land and this energy, it affects us. So we get sick along with the land. We react just like the land, the wind, the water, all the elements do too. And we don't know where it comes from. You see? Now, look at that. But that's what, when a society does that, our culture does that, it's very devastating because it impacts us one way or another, where we have to pull back and we have to protect ourselves. We have to say, oh, this got to stop. We can't be over there. We got to come over here and we got to rejuvenate or renew, or we got to do something to save it. And that's our obligation as what we call the English way as stewards. But in our way, we say we're, as relatives, this is our obligation. So we must do that. Otherwise, we are violating the Creator's laws that will gift it to us if we don't do this. And so the impact is very, very devastating, and we hurt our own selves if we don't take care of these things. Don't identify the plants. Make sure you know what plants rejuvenate the soil, how to treat it, how to talk to it, how to walk on this earth gently. Don't leave your heavy footprint. This body is just a vessel. You see, it's temporary, and it goes back to Mother Earth. Whatever way that individual chooses, it'll go back to her. Either the air, the water, the earth will take it, or fire. You see, either way. These are things that are elements that we have to always consider, that are very sacred to us, and we have to uphold them. That's our obligation as of this land. This is who we are. We don't go out and proclaim that. It's just automatic in our families. So we do these things, but it does affect us. It hurts us. And so we have to heal with these healing ceremonies, the wiping of the tears. We have to have compassion for this earth. We have to have compassion for the wind, have compassion for the up above us as below us with the water. And we have to share that. So we have to know those things, where and when and how to do those things. And that's what is in our families. And many families know these things, but they've kept it hidden because of the destruction that's been coming. But now the prophecy says the fire's been lit. Now you have to tell it to help everybody, not only ourselves, all peoples. You see, that's what it's about.
So last year at this time, there was a great gathering just north of here.
Yes.
On the Cannonball River.
Yes.
Do you see that as the beginning of that opening, that telling?
Yes.
Of everyone?
It's when the prophecy started being told, our elders, our medicine people were leaving us, and they told us of that time that they would be leaving us, but that they were gifting us with something. We didn't know at the time what that was, really. You have knowledge. You may have to decide if that knowledge is going to be practiced openly on top of Mother Earth or hidden in Mother Earth. That decision is yours. So we're like, I was young when I first started hearing this. Choose wisely, my grandmother said. Remember, you're doing this for many behind you. Choose wisely. Look at all things. Walk around on your land and your areas. Check the people. Not just your own, all people's. Where's their mind? Where's their heart? When you find that, you'll know what decision you have to make. Because you're not doing it for yourself. You're doing it for everyone. You're doing it for this relative Mother Earth. You're doing it for the water, Miniwichoni, so the people may live. And that's what we do. So that event, prophecy was coming and coming. And we knew it. And then when this happened of the black snake, we couldn't believe it. We were shocked. We were like, and it was our youth. Our youth brought it to us, to the elders, the grandma, my granddaughter said, Grandma, what are we going to do? We can't let this happen. We're going to run. Okay. Where are you going to run to? What are you going to do? We're going to tell that president. Okay. We're going to go with prayer. So we sent them off with prayer. Our people, the one designated, they all went that way. And that we knew then that this was the prophecy coming true. We were witnessing it. But it was our youth now to stand up. And they did. They stood up and they took the message. They were the messengers, and they said that it will be said by the youth, not by us or anyone else, but our young people. It's going to be their voice that's going to be heard. And so sure enough, when this happened, the fire, it was told the fire will be lit now. So the knowledge that we hold will now come forward for them, so they can pass that on. So we were told to teach, to tell it now. Document. Listen now. They're telling us something. So that's what we did. So when the fire was lit, the seventh fire, and the camp formulated, people were coming from all four directions, far and near. Mm-hmm. And that was the part that we were one. Because in the prophecies, we will become one. And we did. In prayer, we had that common, one thing in common. Was not only the water, but that prayer brought us together. To pray for the water. To pray, to stand up for something that was very powerful. That wasn't just us. And it became what it did. And that's where the Ocheti Shakoe, the Sacred Stone Camp, and Rosebud Camp, Sichelhu, their camps, Mini Koju, which was Cheyenne River, Eagle Butte, all these camps, people came. Many nations came. They heard the call, and it was time. They went on their spirit to come. Many left their homes. Many left a good life to come. And we're thankful for that. But that prophecy came to life. It wasn't words anymore. It was living it, actually witnessing it, actually being part of it. And that was the most powerful thing, to sit there and see the prophecy before us with our youth. That was very beautiful. It's not ours. We can't claim it now. It belongs to everybody. Just like being a relative to this earth. It just doesn't belong to us. It belongs to all peoples. See, everyone. They value this Mother Earth. They value the water. If we don't have water, we can't sustain ourselves. And that's why I tell people, how many people go home? You go back to your countries or to your lands, your original territories. What plant holds water? What plant holds oil? What plant is a cleaner? And what kind of cleaner is it? Is it a water cleaner? Is it a soil cleaner? What does it clean? The air? Know these things. Because now our grandmother sages are coming back now. And that's another prophecy. The ancient one will bring her knowledge forth, her medicines. And so the sages, these are ancient ones to us. See, and they're here now. We haven't found these sages in years. Now they're available. See, So we're talking to them. This is our relative. We're making a relative to them and telling them, thank you. Thank you for coming. We need you. Now we need to know the knowledge to sustain this plant. Are you a cleaner to the soil? Are you Mother Earth's little sister? Are you our relative from the water's relative? How are you related? We got to know these things, you see, and that's been passed down, see. So we got to go find the people that know that, the families that know that now, and gift them. It's time. It's time for that knowledge to come forth. So it's a very powerful time.
Yeah.
When Cannonball happened, when Ocheti Shakoi was lit, the seventh fire was lit, and all our relatives came together. That made it sacred. It was all made sacred. That land, the reason they were all there, the purpose, all was sacred, because it comes from all these elements. So it's sacred, see? So you've got to learn to conduct yourself in such a way, see, of nature, natural law. She's the one that's going to control us.
So speaking of that word, control and power, there's a brutal response to that coming together, to that coming to the surface of this knowledge and the peoples. And I was caught up in that. I took an arrest, and when I spent the night in the Mandan jail, there were 4 or 5 other women, Native women in the jail already. And I like tapped into 500 years of, my God, they have survived. They've survived. They're 500 years, and they're still creating ways to destroy families. They're not taking the kids away, now they're taking the moms away.
Yes.
Right? It's another kind of removal.
Yes.
So what wisdom or teaching do you have for people in these times when you're told to bring out your knowledge and yet the response is so brutal?
It's going to be a while because it's new. And it's real. It's the truth. So when you walk in truth, you get brutalized. Because you walk in truth. But your protection is what you believe and know in your heart, in your spirit. You felt it. You tapped into that. That's your protection. Of knowing your history. Of knowing where you come from. How you, in your blood, in your hair, which is our DNA of memory, we wear it. You can't change that. That's okay. Because they can brutalize us. They can kill us. Because we're going to still come. We're still coming. We're going to still be here. Because there's more coming behind you. You weren't alone, were you?
No.
See? That's the thing. Because you made relatives of one cause, of one mind, of one heart. You made a relative. So you weren't alone. Your cause may have been over there, but it came with you over here, and it united. And it got powerful. That's what they're afraid of.
Yeah.
Is power of uniting, that energy, that spirit of standing as one. Not being like them, but being different. You see, standing here, believing in prayer, and not becoming, as they label us, vicious savages.
Eco-terrorist.
Eco-terrorists, or terrorists, or environmental terrorists. Yeah, they're not that. We're so loving and peaceful. We think of them. We pray for them. Because the effects on that side is far greater than what we suffered. Because we're used to this now. We're adaptable now. We can adapt easily. So we know how to recover ourselves. See, you recovered yourself because you looked in it deeper. You recovered your spirit. You see? You stood in your spirit, not in the human, but in your spirit. And you felt the 500 years of oppression and attacks that we went through, all of us. In that one moment, and when that's 1 second, you already changed it. Just that powerful. You think about that, the catalytic effect that happened then. It's not visible with the human eye, but it's felt because we feel. That's the key to this whole movement. We're feeling it. We know it exists. We know the truth.
And we're not afraid.
And we're not afraid. Their power is way different, but we have a different kind of power. You know, we have a different kind of power. We have what we call the elements helping us to become united with it. That's the autonomy of your will within your heart. It's not up here anymore. It's here now. We're feeling. And we're saying how we feel. And we're expressing it now. That's why they don't know how to deal with us. That's why they have to be brutal. But the more brutal they are to us, they're brutal to their own selves. See? They didn't hurt you. You didn't let them.
No.
See? Because you knew who you were. That's all it took. They don't know who they really are because they're afraid of it. Afraid of the truth. You see? They don't want to look at that truth. So they want to suppress it. But it's not working. Because it's coming out bits and pieces. And the bits and pieces coming out it's getting worse. The more you try to hide that, it's going to become a big, huge light. And we're going to stand in that light, that beautiful light. And this will come back. This is going to rejuvenate itself, this water, this earth. All things that are created is going to clean itself. Because that's the way it's told to us. We are only temporary caretakers of this. We are not owners of it. We don't possess it. But we're caretakers because it's temporary. We pass through this. What matters is our spirit, not our physical being. Our physical being's going back, we know that, and that's okay. But it's our spirit that we're concerned with, see? So anything traumatic, we have to take care of that. See, the physical part, that ceremony has to come now. That letting go of that sadness, letting go of what happened now. Let it go. Don't pick it up no more. That's them. Give it back to them. That's not yours. This is the time now to move on to a higher evolvement. See, higher evolvement. Pity them. Pity them. That's what all you can do. Have compassion. Because one day you're going to cross paths with them. It's going to be, how did you do this? Their generations may come back and ask you, weren't you the one that so and so and so? They're going to remember. And you're going to tell the good story. The goodness you're going to share with them. Not the brutality. Because it's already forgiven through ceremony. See? Through love, through compassion, through humility, through respect, peace.